Afraid it was too bright to see outside. Two of them out there sparring. Bigger one with a littler one here rubbing on it. That sounded bad. They're playing anyway. Let's see. A Boomer at the end. I don't know who's in the middle. Dino here. That's one of the two spots. Well, actually his head will fit that very end section down there too. But other than that, that's one of the two spots his head will fit. And this morning he was wanting in over here. It's like, no, dumbass. That's not where you go. Get down here. Oh, well. Feeding's done. And I think it was Wade that said something about he thought we were going to get snow. Well, I heard he's going to get snow. And we're supposed to get some snow tomorrow, if not earlier. Up around Mount Hood and the Cascades. They were talking about probably down below pass levels. Yeah, doesn't affect us really. Other than it gets below pass levels there, it gets a little chilly here. The lowest we've been since it started getting hot. Our low has been like 45. Until this morning, 34 this morning. It's like, wait a minute. They didn't say it was going to get that cold. They said it was going to be like 43. Huh. Yeah, go figure. Of course, that's Portland Hill. It's probably 50 degrees there with all the concrete and asphalt. They get wigged out and worried about stuff. Well, we freeze our butts off or burn up, one or the other. That one out there, you got his tail up over his head. Taking a dump. Hey, look at me. I got my tail up. Yep. I call timeout. Silly buggers. I think the one standing there, you see him between the poles, goggle-eyed boy. I think that's Boomer's kid. Looks about right. It's hard to tell sometimes. Every now and then there's a couple cows you look at and you think you're looking at the other one. 132 and 232 are a pair of those. Speaking of, hey mama, that one right there, that's 232. The reason I know it's not 132 is because 232 has the twins and she's in this group. And 132 is in this other group over here, and she don't have twins. Push the dog in the feeder, see if the cows go carnivorous. So, oh well, I thought I'd show you some critters eating. Usually, Ruby is over on this side, and unless she's that far one there. She may be that far one that's walking away. Although it looks a little big for her. And Bam Bam's got to come over. He knows he can't get his head in here, and if he tries, God help us. Because I don't want to cut this feeder up. We've had to do that before, cut sections out to get bulls' heads out, because they're not always the brightest bulb in the pack. Well, my nose will fit. My head will fit too. Oh, look. Curious George. In fact, the main feeder over there a few years ago, 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know, a couple years ago, we had bulls that thought he could just stick his head in anywhere he wanted to. He could. Problem was he couldn't get back out. Stick their head in a narrow slot that's kind of like pulling a zip tie up tight on something. Once it's there, it don't come undone. So after feeding, I'd have to come back and check and make sure that there wasn't somebody left standing there with their head in the feeder. It's kind of nice because usually one of the kids is running, hey Dad. I'm like, what? Again? Really? Grab will come along in 2 chains and we'd bend the bars of the feeder out and then literally shove him out the hole, twist his head and turn him, and at least he wasn't a mean bastard. Rainy? Be nice to the baby. Curly Joe there. Oh, fathead. I mean, alien boy there going out. I don't know if you can see the curls on him. Or, yeah, you can. Curly boy. He's one of those. He's not afraid of me. Just doesn't want me in real close. He's kind of the same way. Just looking at his mother's head the other day, and I know where his head came from his mother, that's for sure. He seems to be doing good, though. He's a chunk. And let's see, who are you? Oh, you're a heifer. Yep, 713, I figured that. She's a regular in here. So somewhere is the other boy. I think it's probably, yeah, must be that one right behind her. Is that friendly one. What do you think, girl? What do you think? You want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hi? Not so sure? Huh? Not so sure? Okay. There's 6 minutes of your day you're not going to get back. I'll find you something else. Good news is we got it off. Got it laid here. Yeah, all the good stuff oozing out. That's actually out of oil patch, the push rod holes it's oozing out of. Say, to the best of my knowledge, this thing's got well north of 10,000 hours on it. And to the best of my knowledge, she's never been apart. I think that looks pretty damn good for even the hours that we've put on it. Because I know we've put probably 3,000 or 4,000 hours on it. And it had been repainted before we got it. And had not had any paint broke loose from anything coming apart then. So that's that part. Yeah, I gotta walk around so I can get up to see. We're gonna move the head out of the way, move a bunch of other shit, so we got a little room. I mean, I sure don't see anything wrong anywhere. Of course, you know, getting the head gasket, getting the head pulled off, this was a glued gasket, so we didn't do it any favors getting it apart. Definitely nice and shiny in there. I've looked with the light, but I haven't looked real hard. I don't think there's any cross-hatching left. But really, there isn't a ridge. I mean, I can just barely tell there's one there. So it will hone out nicely. But the other thing in the back of my mind is, which we'll hopefully find out when we pull the pistons, is if we lost a liner. Because choices are either water went from there to here, all the way across. Those two are water passages. These are the push rod passages. And I have not been able to see a spot in between any of those. I couldn't even tell on the gasket if there was a spot. But those are the only places it could possibly have gone back and forth the way it did. If it would have been in the oil cooler, your oil pressure will fill the radiator and pump all the oil into the radiator. So it shouldn't be here. I mean, unless somebody knows more than I do, has seen it happen, we're going to figure that it's fine. But like I said, I haven't found anything obvious, and that's kind of bothering me. I mean, not really bothering me, but I just don't like it. And we're going to look really close at the bottom, because I really don't want to pull liners and go all that route if we don't have to. You know, it'd be one thing if this was one of the big tractors and it needed a full in frame. But, you know, it's easy to hone those. Take about an hour to hone all of them good. Doesn't take long to slip rings in. Doesn't take long to roll bearings in. Those parts don't cost much, considering. Once you start changing the liners and the pistons, I mean, you just quadrupled the bill at least. That's just the parts bill. That's not our labor. So, like I say, that's what we got so far. I'm going to get some stuff cleaned up and get the pan pulled. What do you say at the end of the day? And you even been on the phone and talked to somebody. Hey, Bruce, guess what? I got the rest of all those bolts out. They're all right there. Self-explanatory as to where they all go. Jack's still under it. There is not a single bolt in it. And let me grab the flashlight. Spin you around, make you dizzy, because I got to come over here to get it. Didn't see anywhere in the book where it said anything about how to do this. So, just figured, hey, it's a normal pan, drop it off. Well, okay, there's the filter housing. Yep, there's the filter housing. Goes right onto the oil pump. There's the oil pump. And see if I can get you where you can see it. And yeah, there's the little sump, the dome. Well, I'm not sure how you're supposed to take all that apart. I already looked up in there. You look right at the end of that piece that's sticking up a little bit. It's got an oven in the middle to guide the filter. That's all I found. Getting it broke loose off the back was interesting. Whole thing's interesting. That's as far as it's coming out for tonight, because it won't come out. I can't pull it this way to get it to come out because oil pump's in the way. I thought maybe, since you got you got a nut there and one up there, I thought, okay, maybe those two hold everything in and you go from there. And actually that might be what it does now that I'm looking at it. That sleeve was on the outside. Now I know how to do it. But I am all alone by myself, and I'm not so sure I want to tackle that with no one around. I started getting the other one loose. I thought it was probably rather than just a plain stud in there with a nut on it, I thought maybe that was actually a bolt head. I should have paid a little more attention earlier. No, I guess that's how you're supposed to do it. Pull that thing out and then take it down, and then you hope it goes together right when you put it back together, because I don't know how the hell you get to it to line it up other than shove it in and go. But anyway, we're that far. Maybe I will finish dropping it. I don't know. I'm tired and it's late. Hey, it's literally like a minute and a half later. There it is. Oh, wait. There it is. And yeah, that wad of shit, that's from around the flywheel. That's what happens when the damn thing's in hay all the time. Because that's what that is. Still not sure what was hanging at the back, but it was hung. It is what it is. Now that I know how that's supposed to come apart, that makes a big difference. It's laying right there just the way it came out. And it's nice looking stuff here. So anyway, it's done. I'm going in. Thanks for watching, everybody.